This is a podcast called 25 Whistles, talking football, and they all wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid, but what did you expect? It's a podcast called 25 Whistles. 25 Whistles.
Thank you guys, 25 Whistles. Big shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook. So flag football is going to be featured in the Olympics in 2028, but the flag football players that are currently playing are all disrespected because people like the NFL are going to play. And they're all like, why do you think they'd play? We're good.
No. No, I remember seeing the list too of people we didn't even know.
This is hilarious. Guys, you're playing flag football because you couldn't play real football.
Correct.
Like if you could play at a high level like the NFL, you would be doing that.
Getting paid.
But it is a little different, right? Like you don't have to be 250 pounds.
No, but I think the players, though, that are fast, skill players,
Sure.
Yeah.
will be the ones that should play flag football. If they want to have tryouts, okay, but I'll read you the story from The Athletic. Flag football 2020 Olympics. Daryl Hush Ducetis, a current U.S. flag football quarterback, says it's disrespectful to automatically assume NFL players will automatically just join the U.S. Olympics because that's who they are. He says they didn't help grow the game to get to the Olympics and suggests people, quote, give the guys who helped get this game to where it is at their respect. As far as the NFLers, he says he says they're going to have to go out there and compete, whatever.
No.
So here's the thing about flag football. Well, I don't know what level it is. I never heard of any professional flag football league. They must not have done a good job of getting it to a level because I don't know who these people are. But any flag football level that has gotten anywhere is because the NFL is so popular.
Yeah.
And then flag football is secondary.
Yeah.
So this guy's hilarious.
I like that he's speaking out. I like that.
Yeah, good for him.
But bro, look, we want the
win.
NFL players to play.
Well, it would be like the college players back before the Dream Team. The Georgetown head basketball coach for a long time.
Patrick Ewing?
No, old.
And then his son coached too.
Yes. So he was the head coach of like the 80.
Thompson.
Yes, John Thompson. Thank you.
Wow.
He was like the coach of the 88 Olympic college team, right? And they didn't win. And so 92 went in as a dream team, and they won.
Yeah.
But it would be like those college kids going like, no, we got us here. Jordan, Bird,
Come on.
Magic, pfft, you guys have to earn this.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
We want Mahomes as quarterback.
There's a reason that they're so I thought this guy
Or
was
like Lamar. I mean, imagine Tyreek.
yeah.
Tyreek, just run.
Dominate.
Just run. That's all you need to do. Just
as
run.
quarterback, even Tyreek.
Yeah.
Just take the ball and run.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a whole different game because if those guys, any of those flaggers, could play in the NFL, they would be playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're not making a statement by playing in flag to make flag a better game. They're only playing in flag because they enjoy football and wish they could have made it at a higher level.
Right.
You know what? Respect them.
Is there?
No.
MVP odds for 2024 from DraftKings. Patrick Mahomes at 475, plus 475 at number one.
That's a good bet.
MVP's tough. Last year, I had a buddy that said for sure bet $1,000 on Dak Prescott to be the MVP, and he was.
Did I say that?
Yeah, and he was the leader. He was the leader. And I bet
remember saying
$1,000,
that.
and then he was not. He did not win MVP.
Nah.
It's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Who else you think's in the top five, Eddie?
Lamar.
Lamar is not in the top five.
Interesting.
He's at number 9 at plus 1,800.
Kelsey?
It's going to be tough.
No.
No, just because it's going to be tough for a wide receiver to win MVP because it's such a quarterback award.
Right.
I bet you there's nobody on this list if I go top 15. At number 18 is Christian McCaffrey at plus 4,000.
Okay.
That's the number one.
Okay, so Burrow's on there.
Yeah, Burrow's at number 4.
What if Patrick is Rodgers on there?
Aaron Rodgers
Aaron
number
Rodgers?
7.
Yeah. Okay. Then we got Josh Allen.
Okay, here we go. Patrick Mahomes at 1, Josh Allen at 2,
Yeah.
Joe Burrow at 4. What are you missing at 3?
At 3, we are missing. Oh wow, Dak. They have Dak Prescott at 3.
Oh my gosh.
No, they don't.
Dak's not at 3.
No, he's at 8.
Okay.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert?
No. Herbert is at number 15.
Okay.
It's going to be tough for Herbert in an offense that they run the ball a lot more. That's what's
Very
going to
true.
happen mostly
Yeah.
with the Harbaugh being the head coach there. CJ Stroud, rookie of the year last year. He's at number 3 at plus 850. So you got Mahomes, Allen, Stroud, Burrow, Jordan Love at 5. Boy, I know they're paying him.
They're hyping him up. They're hyping him up a lot.
Well, he had a great second half of the year. He was amazing. But
Yeah, that's hot.
him and Jalen Hurts I don't think he deserves to be where Jalen Hurts is.
No,
No.
he does not.
But the public sets the betting market. I guess it's set by the makers, but then the public then kind of resets
move
it.
You think Lamar's so low because back-to-back is just tough?
Probably.
That kind of hurts him,
Look
right?
at Angelina Jolie, which meant back
What
in
does
the
that
day
mean?
when
What is
she
that?
was like hottest woman every year, they wouldn't give it to her anymore. Same reason Bill Belichick wouldn't get Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
He'd win, and they'd be like, "We're not giving it to Belichick again.
LeBron MVP.
It's why I don't get every CMA."
That's exactly why.
They'll be
That's
like-
what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like they also have a rule where you can't get it, but every other year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do
But
that. That's a real thing.
yeah, that is the real thing.
Yes.
So Dak at 8, Lamar at 9, Brock Purdy at 10. This is Brock's money year too. Brock Purdy, like this is the year he's gonna have to make his money.
Yep. And he's not looking good so far. So
Dude, he played with a second and
Oh
third
my
string. I don't
gosh.
watch any preseason. I went
my
back when
God.
Eddie was talking about how bad Brock Purdy looked. I went back to see why he did not play with any starters. He
You
played
better-
with all junk players.
Yeah, I mean, the passes
people that aren't
weren't-
even going to make the 53-man roster.
those throws weren't even catchable, dude.
Okay.
Ah.
So to finish it out, Jared Goff at 11, Tua at 12, Anthony Richardson at 13, Trevor Lawrence at 14, and the tie for 15 is Stafford and Herbert. Like low key, that Stafford at 15 at plus 3,000
You like that one? Sure. I mean,
for the odds.
he's
Yeah,
been there before.
for the odds.
Where's Will Levis, man? Disrespect.
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to start with, and let's just get right to it. J.J. McCarthy's hurt. He's out for a year. Did they think initially when that happened that it was going to be so severe, the meniscus tear?
You know, I'll say this to you. It was on Monday night, you hear that he's not practicing, that he's got some discomfort in the knee. And I thought, that's not a good sign. And then on Tuesday morning, it was very odd. I started getting a flood of messages from a flood of different people on Instagram. And believe me, that's not how I usually get my information. But all of a sudden, all these people were sending me these messages that J.J. McCarthy was out for the year. And I'm like, out for the year? And I started making calls. Now, their information was partially correct because they said he had a torn MCL out for the year. There were multiple messages I got. When I started making calls, I could tell something was wrong. And it turned out that he had a meniscus injury. And the doctor's surgery was going to determine whether it was going to be a trim, which would have been weeks, or a repair, which would have been months. But I will say going in, my suspicion was it was going to be a repair because I had so many messages. And I think that they had some hope that they would be able to trim it. But once they went in there, they figured that the best course of action for a young player like that with a great future is to repair it. And that's what they did. And he's out for the year. Once you put him on IR, he's done for the season. He's shut down. So that's it.
Adam, when you get the info, what's the process before you go public with it? You're like, oh, I got the info. Do you go immediately or we got to start?
Well, you got to make sure that everything's accurate. You have to confirm it all and make sure that it's right. I'm not going to just put out information when these fans are indiscriminately bombing me with this information that JJ's out for the year because ultimately that turned out to be the case, but there were steps to get through before you could actually say he's out for the year. Again, first he's got the knee discomfort. Then he's having the MRI on Monday night. Then they're going to have knee surgery for Wednesday morning. Then they have to figure out what they have to do. Then they see he's out for the year. So there's a lot of steps. It's not just as simple as a black and white situation.
With the Dallas Cowboys, they've got 3 contracts. All 3 of those contracts will be massive contracts. Will they be able to afford anybody else? Will they play 3-man football?
You know, you could do that. I would say this, that if the Dak deal gets done, and we'll see whether it does or it doesn't, that's going to be the one that cuts into their ability to spend on other players because that deal is going to be so massive.
But would that be before the CeeDee Lamb or the Micah deal, though?
I'd be surprised. I know Dak struck a tone on Friday where he was saying talks were going well. He's in a great spot. Dak's in a great spot, period. Whether he does the deal in Dallas now, before the season, during the season, after the season, or with another team. Like, Dak is going to be, when that deal gets done, whether it's Dallas or anybody else, he's going to become the highest paid player in NFL history. So he's in a great spot.
But they're going to have to do some origami to figure out how to pay all those guys,
But
right?
They knew the CD Lamb deal is coming. And you're talking about arguing over $1 million or $2. Like, that deal's getting done, and they knew what it was going to be. They know the Dak deal is coming if they can get it done. The Micah Parsons deal, Jerry's been talking about for over a year now. So it's not like these deals are blindsiding them. It's just going to restrict
He's
their...
getting a message right
I
now.
love it.
All
I
right, we
love
got breaking news.
it's just going to restrict their ability.
Breaking news.
He's ignoring us.
Pick up a pot roast. Oh, never mind. It's from home.
And trash bags.
all good.
Yes.
Hey, Adam, the phones. I've always been interested in the phones. You have how many phones on you at all times? 2?
I
3?
have 2 phones right now. I have this phone, and my daughter's actually manning the other phone right there. She's taking pictures to post Instagram stories.
So
That one's not for the.
that one, yeah. So one is. I mean, what's how do you give someone? Which number do you give them first? Is it the personal
this
business?
is my primary phone. My secondary phone, I'm not even sure of the number, to be honest with you. And like, you know what? Like the J.J. McCarthy, when he was having the knee surgery, I had everything. It was on this phone, and I went to go file it. I was in the airport in Boston on Wednesday, and nothing was going through. And I'm pressing send for 10 minutes, like, and it's just a line. Like, it won't post. I'm like, go, post. And it wasn't posting, so I had to retype everything on my other phone and then send it on the other phone. That's
Classic
that's
Shefty
why I have
problems.
That's why I have a second phone, because, you know, this one is, I don't even know who the provider is. One of them is Verizon, one of them is AT&T, and you have different phone carriers, different issues like that, and that's how you do it.
Anyone with a tip, you can text them now. 21. No, we don't know your number. So, wouldn't that be fun to give
that'd
out
be
his
awesome.
number, like an 800 hotline number? Let's talk about Joe Burrow for a second. Not a typical quarterback injury, the last one. He's been hurt every year. Do they consider him injury prone or very unlucky? And let's say he gets hurt again. Then do they go, well, what's up? Do they go and look for another quarterback, to draft a young
No,
quarterback?
I don't think so. First of all, I think Jake Browning's a pretty good quarterback, his backup, and they committed so much money to Joe Burrow. He's your guy, and you're not moving off Joe Burrow, even if he gets hurt again, unless it was some catastrophic injury that would hinder his ability to come back and be the quarterback long term. Like, he's the guy, and you're going to ride him until he can't play anymore.
But what if the horse doesn't have any legs?
Well, he's got legs. He's got legs.
No hand, no arm.
He's got arms.
Yeah.
He's got all those things. They're working. Like, you could say that for any player.
But not Joe. I love Joe Burrow, and it's you can say that for some, but Joe's hurt. It's like freak stuff consistently. Even at training camp last year when he pulls up, and the debate is, what did he do? Did he lose his leg? Did he sprain his ankle? And then the injury that took him out at the end of those aren't typical get hit on a play or pull a hamstring injuries. So Joe Burrow, they still have the same faith that he can stay healthy and be the guy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, you have to build around him anyway. It's like the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you may be
It's your only option.
You may be worried that he's 40 years old. What are you going to do? Like, that's your guy. You committed the money. You committed the resources. You committed the time. He's your guy. But again, I think you could say that for every quarterback in the NFL. We come up with it. What happens if this guy gets hurt? What happens if that guy can't play this year?
But Burrow's been hurt every 5 minutes.
I got it. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers last year is coming off his torn Achilles. He's 40. Dak Prescott came off a fractured ankle that time. Like, we could say that for a lot of people. Mahomes has had ankle injuries and calf and dislocated kneecaps. Like, it's a violent sport. Guys are going to get hurt.
That I agree with. But it's just Burrow just got hurt again, I heard. Nope, never mind. I just thought it. I'm just so used to hearing it. All right, final 3 questions, Adam. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, Adam, so you were talking about Aaron Rodgers. How much fun is it to cover Aaron Rodgers and how weird he is?
From other weird people. We mean weird.
Sure, weird. We're all
interesting.
weird.
Interesting.
I don't view it like that. I view it like last year, he goes out there, everybody in New York is all excited to see what he's going to do. Jet fans, actually thought that there's a chance for the first time in 50 some odd years that this team's going to get back to the Super Bowl, and they didn't. I think, honestly, people wanted to see him play and want to see what he could do for that team, that organization, this city, and they want to see him be out there. I want to see him play. Like, I'm forget about covering him. There's a lot of quarterbacks to cover. He's an interesting guy. He's got some interesting things to say, but you want to see him out there ultimately. We're interested in him because he's a great quarterback, and we didn't get to see him play quarterback last year. That's the problem. We want to see him play. He could say whatever he wants. We could debate the merits of it. It's all about his play. He's one of the great all-time quarterbacks. That's what you want to see.
Final 2 questions. What's a fair ceiling for Caleb Williams and the Bears?
Fairly high. Like, I don't know if they're going to win a lot this year. I don't want to get ahead of it. But number one, I think C.J. Stroud kind of raised the bar for rookie quarterbacks. But this guy is incredibly gifted. Now, let's see how fast he can respond. last year with C.J. Stroud was an abnormality. Rookie quarterbacks do not usually do that type of thing. But Caleb Williams has got a ton of talent, and we'll see how it's harvested in his first year.
If Caleb Williams did not exist, would Jaden be like the dude we talked about? Like, can he?
We still might be talking about him even with Caleb Williams because there's been enough chatter about Jaden Daniels and what he can and can't do, and there's enough hope and promise for him that, I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if we come out of this being like, wow, Jaden Daniels is incredible.
Bonus question. Speaking of Jaden Daniels, let's go to the Giants. Malik Neighbors, they played at LSU together.
Yeah.
Like, they were awesome together.
He's a dude.
Because that's the reports. Like, even with Daniel Jones, let's say he's just okay.
Hey, let me tell you something. I remember being at the combine. I'm sitting at dinner with the general manager, and he goes, let me tell you a couple of things right now. I don't care what other people say. Malik Neighbors is the #1 wide receiver in this draft, ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. And when I heard him say it, I'm like, really? And then I heard it again and again and again. And there were people that obviously stood behind Marvin Harrison Jr. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a great NFL career. This is not a knock against Marvin Harrison Jr. in any way, shape, or form. Love the guy. I'm just saying there were people out there who felt like Neighbors was the top receiver. There were people out there who thought Harrison was the top receiver. But it was not a unanimous situation, and that tells you that both guys are in line to have great NFL seasons and careers.
And we really appreciate it. Big fans.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.
Thank you very much, guys. My pleasure.
So, Reid, I think Eddie and I need to talk to you about something.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, I think Reid's priorities are a little out of whack. So Reid has dedicated his life to working out with us and getting in shape.
Oh, here we go.
Well,
here we go.
I just don't understand it.
Well, so and
Here we
Reid,
go.
when he started, like goofy baby deer.
Yeah,
just-
like a giraffe out of the womb. Whoa,
Right.
wobbly.
And everybody starts, when you start back, a little goofy again. We definitely have a specific way we work out. And it wouldn't matter if my wife takes me to do some sort of Pilates class. I'm goofy because I don't really know what I'm doing in there. And those movements are all weird. So Reid starts to work out with us, and he just hasn't exercised at all in years, which is fine. So it's not even changing workouts. He's just getting back to it. And Reid, at times, can be somewhat athletic.
He's got a good jump shot.
And he can throw a baseball.
Yeah.
And a golf swing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Other times,
He's that baby deer.
yes. So he starts working out, and we love Reid dearly. And so we're working, and Reid's starting to slowly get stronger. We can see it in him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
like shows up earlier. He's fired up. He doesn't cry as much. He used to come in every day and be like,
Undercooked salmon.
I had undercooked salmon. I don't feel good.
No.
And,
He called his stomach his tummy. My
It
tummy.
happened
Oh,
one
no.
time.
and I had to have the off to the side conversation of, if you have something that's going to keep you from working out, don't work out. But if you're going to work out, you can't complain about what's happening to you as you work out.
My
'cause-
tummy hurts.
right. Just
Guys.
but if you literally can't work
Happened
out,
once.
don't- undercooked salmon. So that's not even what we're beefing with Reid about.
Because he's past that.
Because Reid is, it's like watching our guy. He's like in puberty. He's like a
Oh my
14-year-old now.
God.
He's strong, man.
From the womb, we were with him. And so all of a sudden, he's like, I can't work out today. Like, cool. There are many reasons that all of us can't work out. He's like, I won't be able to work out all this week. Fair enough.
This week.
You having surgery? Like, what's up? Well, my fiance and her mom are coming to town. And we're like, okay. Why? Because they'll kill me.
Whoa.
That was his answer. Talking about his fiance, he said, she'll kill me. So first, I'd like to ask why you can't work out with us at our normal time of 3 o'clock, which is you're not in the way of dinner or lunch.
Yeah.
Did we work out for 10 hours, Bones?
1 hour
Yeah.
and only twice the whole week, while this week we used to go 3 times, only twice this week because I'm not able to go one of the days. But go ahead, Reid.
So yesterday, we had a dinner date planned, and then we went to go see a movie.
That's great. What time was dinner?
Dinner, we got there at 5:30.
Okay,
Perfect.
cool. What time's the workout?
3.
Yeah, so, and he's like, she'll kill me. But the thing is, Reid, why are you trying to get in shape?
I'm trying to look good for my wedding night.
Exactly.
Which
but
is
who's
what he
gonna kill
always
you?
tells us.
I
And
know.
I don't even think she was, I'm going to be honest, I don't even think it's a her thing.
No way.
I think it's a him thing. And he's like, getting out of it, you can just say, I'm a wuss.
Dang.
Guys.
You're being called out,
You
dude.
can just say this, undercooked salmon, and we'll know the code word.
Hey, tonight I actually can't though because of our engagement photos.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, see, we would have accepted that one. What time are your photos?
The photos are at 4:30.
I get it. Can't do
Fair
that.
enough. It's hard to get unsweaty. It's sweaty as Reid is. God dang.
Oh, he's the
Reid's the
sweatiest.
sweatiest human I've ever seen in my life.
So Bones has to tell Reid every time like Reid gets up from the bench, like, dude, wipe your sweat, please, because it's a pool of sweat, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we're 10 minutes in or 50. When Reid gets up, it looks like you've taken a washcloth and wrung it out over wherever he is.
Yeah.
And at first, I'm just like, hey, man, just remember to, because I have towels for everybody in there. Stacks of towels. So since I have the towels, hey, be sure to wipe your sweat when you get off the bench press or off the floor.
Yeah.
It's like
that
somebody
big
took a
old
leak
sweat
in the
stain.
floor. Yeah. And he doesn't. He just gets up and leaves it all there. But again, we're like, Reid's new. So let's take it.
Gym
Hey,
etiquette.
Yeah. Hey, Reid, don't forget. Reid, you forgot again. Reid. And it used to be like this with waters. Like he would just come and drink all my waters. Like he would just show up and be like, I guess all the waters are free. Sure, you can have a water too. Forgot a water? Have a water. But like he would show up and think, no, this is where I go to get my waters.
I brought my jug. I started bringing my
Yes,
jug.
but
you did.
You learn the etiquette,
There you go.
right?
Yeah.
And if you ever forget a water, have as many waters as you need and want.
Thank you.
But his assumption was, I just go to Bobby's to get my waters.
Gotcha.
And then wherever he sweats,
Just
everybody
leave it
else
there.
is just supposed to lay in it or clean it up themselves. So we've been working with him on this.
Did you yell at
I'm
him the other
learning.
day? What happened?
No,
Did you?
Klug did though.
Oh, he did.
Ooh.
Klug was like, Reid, clean your sweat up.
It's like my kids. Like they always say, like, Dad, why are you yelling at me? Oh, you want to know why I'm yelling at you? Because you didn't hear me the first 20 times I asked you to do
learning.
this.
And I don't even know that Reid knows he sweats so much. Or now he does because did you know you're such a sweater?
Oh, I knew it. Yeah, 100%.
But then why would you not?
I was trying to get through the workout and it just did not cross my mind. I'm just like on to the next thing.
Selfish.
Now you do though.
I know,
Yeah.
100%.
And you know what? As a person, you're not a selfish person. You're actually a really good person.
Thank you.
But sometimes
Yep.
you blame your fiance.
Yeah.
He loves to say she'll kill me.
Yeah.
Loves to say that.
We haven't seen each other in a month and a half.
Okay,
though.
but are you getting ready for your wedding? And it's 1 hour.
That's fair.
And it's mental
But I drove
health.
30 minutes there and then we work out for an hour, 30 minutes back, and then I got a shower.
You can still do it.
You just don't want to do it.
I mean, yeah, it was a good excuse too, for sure.
Do you ever get your
be
own
honest.
in? Like run around your neighborhood? Anything like that? Like sometimes I can't
Be
make
honest.
a workout and I'm like, you know what? I'll go for even like a 2-mile run.
That's great.
And that's it.
Since we started working out, no, I haven't.
Wait, but isn't that also since you started working out again?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
so the answer's always been no?
yeah.
It's a technicality.
That's a funny way to phrase it. Well, since we started, no. But what about before? Oh, also no. But-
No.
So why we were laughing when you weren't around is because you're like, I have to get in shape for my wedding, but then the person that comes that you're getting married to, and then you use her as an excuse to not work out. It just felt a little hypocritical. So then we determined it wasn't her fault at all. It was just yours.
That's right. That's right.
So you admit it.
I admit it. Yeah.
And
I'm a wuss.
And everything's going
Well, that was easy.
everything's going pretty good with you guys. Other than that,
Yeah, no, it's going
Her
great.
mom's staying at your house.
Yep, she is. We
With
cleaned
Dawson,
up,
too?
We cleaned up the house. Yeah, dude. So me and Maddie are going to Jeff Ruby's tonight, and he's going to take Maddie's
Her mom?
out. Yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah.
the heck?
Some Zach Wilson stuff right there.
Where are they going?
So what are they?
He said he's going to ask her, and we talked to her mom, and so I'm not sure what they'll do, but maybe
They're gonna
maybe
hang
they'll do
out.
something. Yeah.
just hang out though. They're not like going on a date.
No, not going on a date. They just hang out. Yeah.
Is her mom married still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Is her mom younger?
Yeah. She's late 40s.
Okay, Dawson.
But no, she's still
Oh,
married.
right. I
though.
forgot about that.
yeah,
Forgot about
yeah,
that.
She's
part.
still
Yeah,
married.
that's
She's
true.
still married. Okay.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do here? What do we learn from this?
I'm going to not take any excuses, and I'm
Well,
just gonna,
excuses and reasons are different.
yeah, for sure.
If you have reasons, there are reasons you can't do a lot of things. Like reality,
Mm-hmm.
real life happens sometimes. There are reasons you can't do a lot of things in life.
That's true.
Excuses are different. And excuses, for example, are
Unexcusable.
cook salmon.
Oh,
My tummy hurts.
yeah.
tummy
yeah,
hurts.
That's true. Yeah.
Or she'll kill me.
yeah.
When in reality, you're only doing it for her
Those
anyway.
are the big three. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So that's what we learned here. There are differences in reasons and excuses. Reasons you can have, excuses we're eliminating.
100%.
I'm also learning that there's no validity to "she's gonna kill me," because he kind of uses that as always just an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she would be, upset. Like if she's upset, that's a bad thing because then it's like, okay,
Little codependency here?
Yeah.
Do you know what codependency is?
No.
Okay. All right.
He's honest.
Okay.
He's
Thank
honest.
you. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, good. Appreciate the time. Mike has a bunch of content available on ESPN Plus. It's Mike Clay's Ultimate Draft Board, Sleeper Watch, the 192 and touchdown projections. I'm an ESPN Plus subscriber. I pay the money. I get the message and email every single time that someone has logged into my Disney account, which is what it says every time I log into my ESPN Plus. So thanks for coming on. A lot of fantasy questions. For us, it's draft time, so your demand has never been any heavier with us. You have 2 running backs in your top 3. Now, back in the day, we used to draft running backs like crazy. They're like limited, but then it's become so wide receiver frenzied with the top guys. With I think Bijan and Brees are in your top, maybe 3 out of 3. Is your top 3 McCaffrey, Brees, and Bijan? Is that right?
Yeah, it sure is. And look, it's positional scarcity at this point. There are just so many good wide receivers. The depth at quarterback and tight end is so good right now that I just look at the running back spot and I say, if I'm picking early in the first round, I can get one of the big 3, the 3 you just laid out, CMC, Bijan, and Brees Hall, and just feel so good about that position. I'm just set. I have one of the very few. So, I mean, CMC's on his own level. I know he's 28 now, not fully healthy at this particular moment, but he's on his own level. And then the other 2 are so young. They're up and coming guys that they're the 2 best candidates to outscore CMC this year. So if I get one of those guys right out of the gate, I feel great about that.
I feel like what's old is new again, because this used to be what we would do 7, 8, 9 years ago, where it was there were only a certain amount of RB1s, and let's grab them all because eventually we're going to be fighting for scrum, and there are plenty of wide receivers. But now it's that wide receivers, there are so many good ones. Not even that there are just so many, there are so many good ones. CeeDee Lamb, with his holdout, do you feel like that will affect him week 1, week 2 of the season if they do sign him? Like, will he be ready to go, or will there be a warm-up process?
He might come out a little slow, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter. And we saw evidence of that last season. The first 6 weeks of the season, he was not doing very good from a fantasy perspective. Then Dallas had their week 7 bye. When they came back, the light went on for Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. From that point forward, CeeDee Lamb had 314 fantasy points. If that was just his total for the entire season, he would have finished wide receiver 3. That's how dominant he was from that point forward. It was unbelievable. 28.5 fantasy points per game. For like perspective, Tyreek Hill during that span averaged about a little over 20 points per game. He just crushed it. So we've already seen CeeDee Lamb get off to a slow start and crush it for fantasy. Even if that happens this year, it doesn't affect me at all. He's 4th overall on my board.
You can't predict injuries, and especially when you look at the top players on any board, but especially yours, they all have a bit of injury associated with them, right? Which makes it extremely difficult. I mean, McCaffrey, until his year with the 49ers, he was hurt every year, but I probably wouldn't have come back to the Panthers either. I'd have been like, my elbow hurts, you know? So Brees Hall, hurt his rookie year, like came out. Bijan was hurt last year. CeeDee Lamb. Tyreek is small, had some time. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a rib injury. Like, let's go to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Apparently that injury was way worse than we knew about, and he still had a heck of a year last year. You feel pretty good about him this year?
Yeah, love him. He was outstanding last season. He's emerged as a guy that has a high floor and a high ceiling. The high floor comes from just massive volume in the short to intermediate range. So, they're going to get the ball in his hands as often as they possibly can. And the ceiling, we've seen it. He had double-digit touchdowns last season. If he can do that, you're the whole package in fantasy. So, things have gone kind of perfectly for Detroit the last 2 seasons. They really haven't had many injuries. Everybody, for the most part, everyone's been out there, relative to other teams. They've been very healthy. The O-line's held up. Jared Goff's held up. So, that gives me the slightest pause. Like, what happens if something like that, they start to drop like other teams do? But at the end of the day, like you said, to your point, you can apply that to every team in the NFL. Every team is going to have some level of injury concerns over the long term. So, St. Brown is my wide receiver 3. I expect another massive season from him.
Did Justin Jefferson fall in your top 10 because of the quarterback situation?
Yeah, I mean, relative to Kirk Cousins era, yes. If Kirk Cousins was back, I think he'd be giving CeeDee Lamb a run for his money for that top overall spot at wide receiver. But there's more question. There's question marks there. With Sam Darnold, there's a hope. There's a range of outcome for him that they can get him going. And if you think, but there's no way that's possible, well, I give you Baker Mayfield last year. I give you Geno Smith 2 years ago. With the right coaching and the raw talent, sometimes these quarterbacks can develop later in their career and have a good season. So there is hope that Sam Darnold will be okay. I would feel better, though, if J.J. McCarthy was healthy, just because the ceiling's higher. You draft a guy in the first round, you expect him to be a superstar, and McCarthy did look the part in the offseason. So that gives me a little pause from where we've had Jefferson in the past, but he's still wide receiver 5 on my board. He's going to get a huge target share, and he is maybe the best talent at receiver in the NFL. So he's still a fine first-round pick.
You have 2 Eagles in your top 12. Saquon, first-year running back. Are they going to tush push anymore? Is Saquon going to get – who's going to get those carries?
Yeah, they'll still do the brotherly shove for sure. I don't know if it'll be quite as dominant as it was with Jason Kelce up front. But remember, Jalen Hurts is the guy that can squat, a bazillion pounds. I don't know. I can't count that high. So he'll be awesome. He'll still do that. He'll still get in the end zone. But here's the thing. The last few years, Eagles running backs have scored enough rushing touchdowns. I believe Miles Sanders, I think it was 8 2 years ago, as their lead back. And this is another step up. This is Saquon Barkley we're talking about now. You don't pay him to bring him in to just be a situational guy and not be involved near the goal line. The guy is going to be good. I think he'll score right around 10 touchdowns, much better offensive line in Philadelphia relative to what he was dealing with in New York. And look, Howie Roseman is not a guy that pays non-premium positions. We've seen linebackers walk away. We've seen them not pay running backs. But this year, the salary cap went up, and he just watched his Eagles get beat up by Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers the last couple of years and thought, this is a copycat league. We got a premium A-plus running back on the market. This is the time to pounce on one of these guys. He's doing that with Saquon Barkley. I expect him to be a featured player and have a huge season.
Who's going to go from didn't really matter last year to holy crap, they matter a lot this year? And just to give you a second to think about that, like a guy like Garrett Wilson makes sense to me because he just didn't have anybody throwing the ball to him and he's elite. So you can still pick him. I just want to give you a second to think about that answer. Who will go from, man, if they just had somebody to get them the ball, they'd be so elite, to this year they have that person?
Yeah, I think there's 2 guys that jump right off the page. I'll agree with you on Garrett Wilson because he was my guy last year. Okay, I took him in the late first round of our marathon mock draft on TV. I sniped Dan Graziano. He was not happy. I was happy. And then it took a few snaps on Monday Night Football, and that dream was dead. So I'm back in on Garrett Wilson. Look, the guy's 4th among receiver and targets since he entered the NFL. All the other guys up there in the top 10 in targets are averaging like 16, 17, 18 fantasy points per game, 8.5 touchdowns per season. He has 7 total touchdowns, averaging about 12.5 fantasy points per game because they had the league's worst quarterback play. That should be fixed this season. So it's him, and the other guy, obviously, is Drake London. First rounder 2 years ago, same kind of thing. Big target share since he's come into the league. He's the real deal, but the quarterback play has been bad. It's been a low-volume offense down there in Atlanta. Now he has Zach Robinson in as the play caller. Arthur Smith is out and headed to Pittsburgh. And, of course, you have Kirk Cousins at quarterback, which is a massive, massive upgrade. So I expect both of those guys to have big seasons. Both of them I have in my top 15.
Speaking of Atlanta, Bijan, obviously we mentioned him as being one of your top 3. I think he was number 3 on your board. But what do you expect Bijan to do now that he's not in that Arthur Smith offense? What is he going to do now that he wasn't able to do last year?
Yeah, all systems go. I mean, last year, I think it would surprise people because, to your point, like it felt underwhelming. It felt disappointing. And still, he was 6th among running backs in yards last year. I believe he was 5th in snaps. He was 2nd in targets. He still had a very good season for a first-year player in the NFL, especially in, again, that low-volume system. Now the carries can come. I think that's going to be the big difference from last year to this year. The carries will add up. You might see about 100 more carries. That's big. And perhaps more importantly, goal line work. He had 2 carries inside the opponent's 5-yard line last season. It wasn't even in the top 50 among running backs. That is something they will correct this season. By the way, he still had 8 touchdowns last year. Still had 8 touchdowns, and he had 2 carries inside the 5. So he's the real deal. He has the raw talent. He has the pedigree. He's super young, just 22 years old. And again, forget everything about last year's offense, last year's Atlanta offense. It doesn't matter. It's now a new system, a new quarterback, everything. He's ready to roll.
In 2015, you introduced the wide receiver cornerback matchups, which I always find interesting. I mean, back in the day, anybody lined up against Revis, if you had a stud, you had to start them, but
Right.
You knew it just wasn't going to happen for the most part. Who should we look out for if they're up against who that we're like, oh man, if we're already like borderline that we should not start?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, lately it's been like every week I'm writing about the Jets secondary, just how dominant they are in the perimeter. Because everyone knows Sauce Gardner, but DJ Reid is fantastic as well. Michael Carter's in the slot, so that's like an automatic repeat every week. I know whoever's playing the Jets is a downgrade. I look at Christian Gonzalez in New England as a very fascinating one. If you're looking for a breakout player in the NFL this season, he was shadowing right out of the gate early last season, looked like he was a find by New England. Then got hurt, missed the rest of the season. But he's a guy I want to see if he comes out strong in week one and just picks up where he left off last season. Could be a little bit of a change there with the new scheme in New England. Belichick's out and is historically just shadowed with number ones over the years, like going back to like a Malcolm Butler. I mean, the list goes on and on. They had so many good ones, but he's a very interesting one. So we learn a lot in week one. We see which corners are going to shadow, which are not. L'Jarius Sneed was a really interesting one last year in Kansas City, but now he goes to Tennessee. Will he be used the same way? He was got shadowing number ones all season last year for the Chiefs and what was one of their best defensive seasons ever. So that's always a fun experiment to do. I try to predict it for week one, see what the dynamic's going to be. And then we learned so much about these new schemes in that first series of games.
Who are you making your biggest reach on in accordance with with their ADP? Like who do you feel like is so much better value than what their average draft position is?
Oh, good question. I think there's a few. I think a guy that I've really been trying to get my hands on because he's not super expensive. And by the way, like the first and second round receivers, always looking for them later in the drafts, but also second year receivers. You tend to see a leap from quarterbacks in that year, but also receivers sometimes, especially guys not picked early in the first. The later guys, that's when they make a leap. So Jackson Smith-Njigba in Seattle is a guy I'm looking at. Reports in the offseason have been fantastic for him. Again, he was a late first rounder last year. He came into the league super young. He's only 22. And don't be surprised if he leads that team in targets this year. DK Metcalf is going to open the season as their one. They love to throw hit to him near the goal line, get him his vertical targets, but not necessarily a dominant target share. Smith-Njigba could beat him out in that department. Don't be shocked at all. I know Tyler Lockett's there as well. It's a new scheme, but Smith-Njigba appears to be the real deal. So very excited to see what he can do. And in 10-team leagues, and even 12 teams, you're getting him in the 8th, 9th round. You're not paying too much for him.
Fantasy Focus Football Podcast. It's Monday through Friday, airing live on the ESPN app, YouTube, and Facebook. Available in the afternoon in podcast form. So I love all the information that you have, Mike, up on ESPN Plus. Like, I'm a big running back guy. It's kind of the zag to the zig. So I subscribe. I have the number 3 pick in both. I play in 2 leagues. I have the number 3 pick in both of mine. And I feel pretty good that I'm going to get one of those 3 running backs just because, numerically, I'm number 3. Yeah. So, so I like when someone smarter than me agrees with what I was planning on doing. It really gives me a boost of confidence there. So be sure to check out Fantasy Focus Football Podcast. I guess the last thing I'll ask you is, do we feel like if Davante Adams had a quarterback, he would be much better? Or is he just getting older? I think he's 19 on your list. He's such a stud, but if the stud can't get the ball, he can't do stud things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge target share last season, but the efficiency was the worst we've seen from Davante Adams. It's not Aaron Rodgers anymore throwing him the ball. The good news is, and I say this with some pause, I don't want to get too carried away on this, but Gardner Minshew did finish 13th in QBR last season. He did, I know the scheme was good in Indianapolis. It was fast-paced. They set him up for success. He did well. So, I think Minshew, he's certainly, I wouldn't say an above-average starter, but, he's not horrific. So if he can just push the ball to Adams and give him 28 to 30% of the targets, let's push for 8, 9, 10 a game. Adams is going to have another huge season, and that's why he's projected to he's wide receiver 10 on my board at age 31. So I'm hopeful that it works out. I think the connection with Minshew could work. And by the way, if Aiden O'Connell eventually they say, he's outplaying him, he's the better guy, he beats out Minshew, that's better for Adams. That means that this young guy is an even better situation. So we'll see how it plays out, but I think Adams probably has maybe one more big season in him.
You can follow Mike at Mike Clay NFL. Hey, Mike, appreciate the time. Hope you have a great day and hope you have a lot of really good drafts, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, good luck this season. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks, man. The jersey that Babe Ruth wore when he called a shot.
Yeah.
Remember for the cancer kid?
Yeah.
Or the sick kid.
What do you mean cancer kid?
Well, that's why he called a shot. He promised it to the kid in the hospital.
Oh, I didn't know that part. I thought he was just being Babe, being like, I'm going to hit it right over there.
And why would Babe do that for no reason?
Being a bad A.
You're true. That's true. Unless I'm getting my stories mixed up. I believe it was at Wrigley Field. And I believe Babe called a shot because he told the kid in the hospital that he was going to hit him a home run.
Dang, that's cool.
Well, we got to go to our New York expert, though. Casey, is that true?
Yeah, I believe that's true. And I think it was also the first All-Star game of sorts that the shot happened at as well.
Okay, see,
Or maybe-
we're
Dang.
learning. And how much of this actually happened, we don't know.
We don't know. We
Middle
weren't there.
of the World Series in 1926. He
Okay.
said, I'll knock a homer for you in the Wednesday game, kid.
There you go.
Okay, do it again, Mike. What'd you say? So it was, what was it?
1926 World Series, middle of the game.
Okay, so it was a postseason or like extra game. And then he did tell a kid he'd hit a home run for him. Did he say what the kid was suffering from?
Hospitalized by getting kicked by a horse.
Not cancer. Okay.
what?
See, I knew I was off a little bit.
And he told him, I'll knock a homer for you in Wednesday's game.
Okay.
But
So-
you see how we messed it up in a matter of like 2 minutes? Can you imagine all these years of people's stories mixing up? And by the time like it comes to us, we don't know anything.
Yeah, I knew it was Wrigley Field, which meant it had to be an All-Star game or a World Series.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees and the Cubs, ALNL.
Yeah.
So, and then I knew it was a hospital because I've seen the version of it on TV where it's like, oh, I hit one where y'all get out. But I thought it was just generally cancer.
Hit one for you there, kid.
So the jersey he wore
Boyle.
is going to set a new memorabilia record.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, but you say yeah, but
What do you mean?
what do you mean? It's not easily the most valuable thing ever in the history of sports.
The Babe Ruth, everyone knows him calling the shot.
Yeah. You didn't.
What do
You
you
didn't
mean?
even know what it's from. You didn't know the hospital thing was real.
Dude, I've seen the pic. I've seen it all. Like I've heard it. Dude, even when I play baseball, sometimes I do it just because the Babe did it. You know, we all do that.
We're not saying it's not a amazing moment, but you're acting like easily that's the most valuable piece of memorabilia in the history of the world in your
Sports
mind.
memorabilia.
Eh,
Michael Jordan, what?
yeah, exactly. Like I would say Michael Jordan's first championship shoes that he signs.
Bro,
Yeah.
Like-
this is the Babe.
Babe has
But you're
the
just
aura.
saying that because you know it's already the answer.
No,
My point is, you were just kind of jumping along. But anyway, it's going to go for, they think, around $18 to $20 million.
Wow.
Which is crazy. So
And then do you wear it? Or do you just leave it on the wall?
you don't wear it. You don't
Frame
wear
it.
You don't wear $20 million.
Dude, you bet one day I'm wearing that around the house.
And that's why you would never get it.
Well, yeah. And that's why I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah,
Reg League softball game.
yeah, I did a Mark Grace.
Yeah,
You
that's
did.
true.
So if there's not another bid based on what's been bid so far, the current top bid is $15.1 million. It's $5.5 million more than now this is a card, but the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card at a 9.5 sold for $12.6 million 2 years ago.
Dang.
Card. The previous all-time auction record for a game-worn jersey was $10.1 million, paid at Sotheby's for Michael Jordan's 1998 NBA Finals Game 1 jersey. Sold in 2002. But to pay $10 million for a jersey, man, that's crazy.
Because you say the Jordan one, right? Like, say, I'm assuming it's someone's living room. They're having a cocktail party, and they're like, what is that?
Got to be in some sort of a sports museum in somebody's house.
Yeah.
Like that has you don't just buy that and hang that by itself
By
next to the
itself.
family. Yeah.
Okay. I just picture
And
having
you
people
also
over.
guard it. It's got to be guarded. You're just talking about, let's take the jersey and the sports off of it. It's $10 million.
Yeah.
You know, think of the ways people want to steal anything in your house. If they see any valuable in your car, they're going to bust a window. You have to protect. If they know $10 million is anywhere, you've got to do the security, video, electric monitoring.
Yeah. See, I don't know about this.
Doesn't that take the fun out of it though?
No,
You know,
because
like-
I'm sure it's bought as an investment. I'm sure it's bought by a sports fan, but as an investment, because you're not going to spend $10 million on something to whack off at.
Interesting.
You know,
Yep.
you're going to buy it because you're into sports, but you're also going to go, I'm buying this as an investment because I'm not going to spend $10 million on something that's just is fun to me. Otherwise, you buy like Michael Jordan's flu game jersey for a tenth of the price and just have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You understand how rich people think. See, I don't have any money, so I'm thinking like, yeah, I'd buy that $10 million, hang it up on my wall, have people over and be like, you know what that is?
And you know what they do? They'd be thinking like, how do we break in and steal this later?
Yeah, see, I didn't even think about that.
I know. You're crazy. Heritage execs still project, though, because this bid now, again, for the Ruth jersey, they think it could possibly, I don't know when this ends, but it could.
Why? You want to
get
bid?
up to no, God, no. You're crazy. I want everybody listening. He was kidding. There's there's that, and then there's no.
Bones, would you bid for fun?
$30 million. No, because I don't want to get trapped with it.
You're right.
I don't get trapped.
'cause you never know.
Yeah.
You may not get outbid.
That's from cllct.com. If you have that, you have to have the extra $1 million in security. So you have to have other money to protect the money that you just spent. Otherwise, I've seen enough Oceans movies to know somebody's coming to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You just watched all those, didn't you?
I did. Well, parts of them. I'd seen them already, but my wife had never seen them.
Yeah, I remember when Ocean's 11 came
awesome.
out. It's mind blowing.
It's
That
so
was the
good.
time.
And I
Yeah.
thought after that, any kind of robbery is possible. Any kind.
But I think it still is, right?
I mean, I wouldn't have thought of like the whole going down the lasers and
Well, you don't think about robberies, though.
Yeah. Those guys were good.
Yeah. Well, they're also fictional. But I would say that if these are happening, we're not knowing about them, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these are just. And then people are embarrassed. Then they're black market art is constantly, and that's from robberies.
Yeah.
But do you see the story about Hank Aaron and the bases? So Hank Aaron, he is the all-time home run leader.
Oh, yeah. Hammering Hank.
When he hit the home run that set the all-time record, they pulled the bases, and like somebody that worked for the Braves at the time gave the bases to so-and-so. Okay, so the bases are up, and they're
Game's over. They took the bases off.
so the bases were listed by Heritage Auctions. We have all the bases.
Okay.
But then there was one of the family was like, no, we have the third base.
Oh.
It's something like that where they're even arguing which one was real.
Oh, great.
Oh man.
Because again, it's not like there's photo match. I mean, photo match
Yeah.
looks like the base. If you see the story, Kevin,
Yeah, I'm reading it. It looks like the Braves are the ones that are challenging it.
so they are.
Yeah.
Because the Braves are challenging it, but because they say that I think it was the third base. Somebody else has or claims they have the real one. And it was the family. It's the family. So, but again, you have this auction group going, we have it. You can buy all of them, 1, 2, 3, and home. And then somebody going, not so fast, because the Braves put a stop to it.
Gosh, how do you prove that? How do you prove which one's the real one?
I think you set them both down, you cut them in half. You go, we're going to cut this in half. And whoever goes, no, don't. He can have it. That's who gets it because they love it the most.
Is that the Bible?
That's King
Bible
Solomon.
story?
Yeah, that sure is.
Dude, how cool. Remember that store we went to at St. Louis where they had they had bases there from a bunch of games. They had jerseys from everyone.
Oh, you're talking about the gift shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went into the gift shop.
But it was all used stuff, even like office chairs. That was like part of an office in there at
The
the stadium.
GM of the.
Yeah.
It really was. It was like
They were selling everything.
and it was dirt from certain games.
Oh, wow.
It was balls,
Pretty
foul
interesting.
balls hit by certain players. Never the big players for the most part.
Yeah.
It was always secondary,
But I
batter 7, 8, 9.
I do remember seeing bases there, but they would all have like plates on them. And I don't know if they do that now where like every game they have a plate that says Game 4 of the Mets, Cardinals.
I don't
series.
think they throw every base away every day now.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think it's that. But
That's good to know, dude, because when we were watching the Cardinals game, I was telling my kids, that's the base I broke my foot on. That one right there.
it could
boys.
have been though, because they don't pull them every game and give them away.
That's cool.
But if something happens, or if they pull the base and like this base is now dead, they can assign something that actually happened on that base. Like whatever the best thing that happened on that base, they can then go, George Brett hit his 400th double on this base.
Well, shoot, maybe I should call him and tell him that I broke
You
my
broke
foot
your
on
foot
that
on it?
base.
Yeah. Kevin,
Way
what
to
do you see
pull
over
it.
there?
I see that the Baseball Hall of Fame gave Hank third base when he got inducted, and then he donated it to the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And that's where they're upset. The Hall of Fame and the Braves are saying, no, we have the base.
So it is third base they're fighting
Yeah,
about. So
yeah.
home plate, first and second, all good. But who's
That
got
third
the
one.
real third base? And both are claiming and both think it's the real third base. And how do you really find out?
No.
Do you just have to take the loss? Do you melt them together and make one or two new ones, and they both have a little bit of the original, and the value's down, but now you have 2 instead of 1, which is better than none?
Dang. Get into some legal stuff, too.
Yeah,
Gonna get
because
ugly.
it was up for auction. Like,
Yeah.
they were up and Eddie would just put him in his backyard and have a softball game and be like, hey, buddy, come over and have a drink.
Guys, this is the Hank Aaron base.
It's the Hank Aaron basis.
Wanna play some wiffle ball?
I'd like to conclude the show with a little talk. Had a rec softball game last night. Had one 2 weeks ago as well, but the one 2 weeks ago, the game started at 9 p.m. What adult in their right mind can play a rec softball game at 9 p.m.?
Normal
No.
people.
No, they don't even want to
What?
play. I didn't play because I have to get up so early. But even they were like, it's miserable because you play 9 until 10. You get home at 10:30, 10:45. You shower. By the time it's 11, you don't get to bed till midnight, 12:30. It's terrible. So we had an 8 o'clock game, which is about the very edge of when I can play. And I haven't slept all week. I was like, man, I really don't want to go. And I always want to go. I look forward to it so much. But I went, and we're playing. We're up third inning, 17-1. It is brutal. And so we just started dicking around. We lost 24-23.
What?
Shut up.
From that lead? Wow.
It's a crazy comeback.
When you say dicking around, like, what were you guys doing? Like,
Everybody was
like
playing
Savannah
position-
Banana
no,
stuff?
Yeah, everybody's playing position I don't normally play. Like we were all like,
Was there like a bunch of errors, or were they just hitting the
'cause
crap
everybody-
out of the ball?
No, both. But I'm telling you, for like 2 innings, everybody was like, "What position have you not played forever?"
Oh no!
It's so stupid. We were so stupid.
You like let the kids play that never play.
and it's like people are playing shortstop that never played shortstop. Like I always wanted to play shortstop,
Dang.
and we lost. And we deserved it, and it hurt a little bit. And they were getting mouthy with the umpire, but they sucked, and we sucked because we made bad strategic decisions. But we ended up losing in the last inning, 24-23.
That's tough.
Dang.
Yeah, it's tough. I was so tired. I wasn't even competitive. Like I never left my position for the record. I played first base the whole night. I was like, I'm not.
Did anybody try to get it?
No, because
Okay.
that's just where I play now. But I've never had it. It was 17-1.
Dang.
And then it being 24-23. Last inning, we had a chance to come back. We were the home team. And then I was up first, and I got a hit. And then it was out. And then that was it.
Yeesh.
It was hilarious.
Did you try to steal at the end?
Nah, it's softball, bruh.
All right.
There was a guy on the other team who was dressed in full baseball uniform.
Like, what team?
No, I don't know. It was he looked like he came out of the corn.
Pinstripes?
Full uniform. When he would get on base, he would like hold things with his hands like he was going to slide head first.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I swear to God. And I'm not making fun of him. I'm jealous. I don't love anything in my life as much as this guy loves playing rec softball.
That's cool.
I love playing rec softball, but I'm telling you, and he was diving. Like, it's like he waited every minute of every day, countdown clock, to be able to play rec softball again. Full baseball, full uniform, like pants, leggings.
Was he good?
No.
Oh.
He was fine, mid at best, but he went hard, and I was jealous because there's nothing I love as much as that guy loved that hour.
Yeah, you got to respect that. Hey, do you guys have uniforms? Or are you guys just kind of like Bad News Bears?
We didn't have uniforms. We have a T-shirt now that they bought. It has the guy from Sandlot.
Squints?
The great Bambino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Porter.
he's on
Big
it.
guy.
But it was just like, we might as well get a shirt that matches.
Yeah.
And so we won last week. I didn't play that 9 o'clock game. And then last night we were at big time. And then everybody wants to play their new positions. And at the end of the game, everybody's kind of like, we made a mistake. When they were coming back, when they were marching back hard, everybody was like, I think we made a mistake by goofing around for the last 2. But they won it. They had to hit balls. They had some home runs at the end over the fence.
Dang.
They won.
Were they pumped?
Okay.
Yeah, and they were a little mouthy, which good for them. They want to be mouthy. They came back and won. Honestly, I was so tired. I did not care. But I was thinking to myself, did they not see us like all playing different positions? But then even then,
Maybe not.
maybe they were just like, oh, they want to disrespect us.
Mm-hmm.
So they deserved to, and
Dang.
they deserve to win in every way. I've never had a comeback like that before on me. It's hilarious.
Dang, dude.
And they smacked some homers and
People drinking? Is it a beer league?
kinda, I guess. I don't know. Our team isn't.
Okay.
Unwritten rule, maybe.
I don't know. I don't. Our team wasn't. Our team wouldn't. I really don't want to say who our team is.
Yeah, I got you.
Not because they're famous, but because I didn't know who I was playing with. And when I signed up with them, the guy was just like, hey, come and play. We need a spot. Because I posted on social media. And I'm pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm the best out there. I'm probably top. If there's 20 people out there, I'm probably top 3 or 4.
You can't say I'm pretty good anymore. Like you were MVP at the
Yeah,
All-Star
but I was
game.
really on during that game.
But it doesn't matter. That's an accolade where you're just like, oh, sorry, man, I'm really good now. That's just who I am.
But I'm not. There are guys out there that were like ball players that still are really good. So I'm never like the first, second best player out there, but I'm always So I'm pretty good. But no, it was a hilarious night. And then it was late. It was the only game my wife's ever come to, too.
Oh, no.
man.
Her and her parents.
That's not good.
Yeah, because they're in town. So they were like, we'll come to the game. My wife did not want to go to the game to begin with. She was like, I don't want to go. And her parents were like, we'll come. And she's like, fine. So they sat on the bleachers. And Caitlin's like, are they coming back? Are you letting them score just in the game?
Caitlin subbed in.
She's like, in the game.
She was talking to you during the game?
I would go sit with them.
Oh.
It's like, it's
that-
rec league
then you really
softball.
weren't really caring.
Your head wasn't in the game then.
Mine was. I played all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played
Yeah,
all
but
right.
if you're going to the bleachers talking to your family during the game, bro, your head's not in the game.
There's no game for my head to be in. It's a slow pitch softball league. So that's it. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great day and share this. Please share it with somebody. Follow us on the 25 Whistles account if you're listening on the Bobby Bone Show account. We'd appreciate that. Hope you have a great weekend. We will see you guys on Monday. I think we have the NFL preview Monday.
Yes, sir.
And then a couple episodes next week as well.
Yes.
So we will see you guys then. Bye, everybody. Eddie, blow us out. Thank you.